All right. Hello.
That was great. That was a wonderful start.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Semi-Perfect Podcast. It is July 16th, 2020 on a rare Thursday Semi-Perfect Podcast. Thank you for joining us here on this day, even though it isn't when we normally convene or reconvene or do both. We have with us Laura.
Hello.
Saberspark.
Hello there, love.
PaleoSteno.
I'm not gonna do a voice.
He's doing the weird one. That's good, dude.
I love that was great. Toodles.
Hello.
And I'm ACRacebest. Thank you for joining us here, our live audience, our folks that we always enjoy to interact with during these podcasts. And I don't know, sir. What's on tap for today? What is your itinerary? That and then that. Oh, okay, yeah. All right. So we got ourselves a podcast. As usual, for anyone that's new, we always like to kick things off with our food posts.
Wrong street.
Sarah, right now, if she ever sounds far away, it's because the way that things are set up, we have so much stuff in one space that Sarah has to do a complete 180 to look at the monitor that's on the ground behind her in order to set things into motion.
Yeah, so we like to do food posts at the start of our podcast, which you can submit whatever you're eating either before or during the podcast using the hashtag SPPFoods.
Yep. So we want to see food. What are you guys talking about over there?
I can't really hear the audio, hon.
Oh.
So we're trying to change. We're messing with our levels because you can turn the game up. So we
I
can...
know, but like I don't want to have to yell.
All right. Do you want to just here?
you.
You want to just open the volume level real fast and see where it's at?
Did Saber call me hun?
Sorry, it's I don't. My headphones have been packed because I'm shifting apartments.
Is
And
it that time?
Oh, it's automatically. Turn that shit off. All right. Test.
Well, you sound good.
All right. A little bit more. All right. Test. All right. Can you talk, hon?
Yeah, I don't. Okay.
Can you all hear all right?
Yeah.
Cool. Should be fine.
Okay.
And we can turn the volume a little bit more on the
I
computer.
don't know if we can.
More volume.
That's fine.
All right.
All right. Can you all talk?
Hi.
No.
Hello.
Yes. I'll still talk. I'll keep talking.
Yeah, let us know if there's any like echo or feedback or anything because I have to use my speakers. So.
Okay.
As of right now, no echoes, so seems to be good.
Cool.
Sweet. Well, actually, Sarah and I were gonna stall anyways for some food posts, so you guys fit right in the
We've
bill.
only got one so far.
Really?
Really? That's it? Here, I'll take a picture of my leftovers. Hold on.
Thank you. Is anyone eating? Are you guys still eating out there? You need to eat. Iris
No.
is our first. Oh no.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want me to go to the Twitter screen now?
Yeah.
Even take a picture of my glass of water, and that can be my food post.
Oh yeah. I'm eating
Yeah,
water.
I'm seeing some food posts here, like more than one.
Oh, okay.
If
All
I
I
go to
see is...
latest.
Yeah. I don't see that yet. Let me refresh.
We're
I don't want to
just.
be in the picture.
Oh, you know what? That's why.
Here, wait, let me get Master Chief in
What?
there.
Did you type in the wrong thing?
Oh, you put SPP food, not foods.
Yeah.
You looked up your own wrong
Well,
thing.
first off, we'll get the typo one out of the way.
That's perfect because we would have missed this one otherwise. We wouldn't have because we were tagged in it. So popcorn. Iris is having popcorn.
Yes.
Sarah, I haven't had popcorn in like weeks.
Yeah.
Well, I had kettle corn.
Yeah.
Kettle corn surprisingly like really hits the spot when you're in the mood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever had kettle corn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kettle corn?
Foods with a S.
I think I've had kettle corn.
You have?
I think so, like a long time ago. All right, here we go. Here's
Now we're in business.
All right, we have Pixie saying, "Hey y'all, lots of things happening lately, so I've unfortunately missed a couple of these. But hey, finished my summer college semester yesterday, so that's cool. Having a beef frank and yogurt for dinner. I'm cooking something big tomorrow, so simple it is tonight. Congrats,
Dude. Like,
Wait, what happened to them?
finished summer college semester.
Hey, congratulations.
What a weird time it must be to be in school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm just like honestly, like, I do not envy kids of any age that are school bound right now. Like, especially, like, because I was thinking about this. I know, like, right now because of the pandemic, I think schools well, I don't know. I don't know exactly what's gonna happen, but I know, like, it's a conversation that's happening right now where, like, at least out here, schools aren't gonna be doing anything for fall until further notice. And I'm just like, wow. And I know this is, like, small scale the way it sounds, but I'm just like, wow. Like my years of doing sports in high school, I'm just like, man. Like, I understand there's also, like, the whole social aspect of it, but I'm like, dude, like, that would have just been, like, lost to this. And you don't just get to be like, well, we'll do it next year. Yeah. I'll do freshman swim next year. So I was just like, wow, I like I said, don't envy it. Yeah, everything's weird.
Yeah.
But beef franks are good, so good choice, Pixie.
Especially with yogurt.
That's new. Anime Guy 01 says, gonna not be eating during the show while working. So here's what I had earlier: McDonald's and Diet Coke. Also, I love my MHA face mask.
Nice.
What does MHA stand for?
It's an, I don't know. What?
My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
I love Sarah's answer though. It's an I don't know.
I don't want to say something and then be wrong. But yeah. That's actually a surprising, like, that's a good looking burger from McDonald's.
Are you thinking McDonald's tonight for dinner?
I'm not thinking McDonald's
Sarah,
because I can't eat McDonald's.
Sarah's like,
Who thinks McDonald's? Gross.
Sarah was complimenting. I think it's just picture well.
Yeah, picture
not picture perfect, but it's picture pretty well. I think it's that gleam off of the sesame bun.
Yeah.
Where it's like, how'd you do this, Anime Guy? How did you make food look so good?
Yeah.
Although Anime Guy does have experience. They have experience making cookies look really good. So maybe it's just it's in the family. Yeah. That's probably what it is. Void.
Void and Void says, since I lost all pretense of eating healthy, here's fried chicken, fries, onion rings, and lemonade, all homemade. Oh.
Ooh.
Homemade.
All homemade.
That looks really good for it.
Whoa.
That's good.
Wait, does that mean, like, the chicken was killed at your house and then then you fried it?
Hatched and grew his own chicken.
Yeah, but where did he start, with the egg or the chicken?
Dun dun dun.
I mean, where is the true beginning? Or the egg of the mother?
Oh.
To make the egg of the next.
I don't know.
Paleo, what came first? The chicken or the egg?
If you follow evolution, the egg.
Where'd the egg come from?
Something that wasn't a chicken.
A dinosaur?
So the egg came first.
A T-Rex?
Sounds like a dirty question. Who came first, the chicken or the egg?
Wow.
I always just fall back to the conversation we had where Saber had to reference that one of them's illegal, one's very illegal and one's only kind of illegal or something. It's in the vlog. You'll have to go find it. We got Taylor in the house. Says, good evening, everyone. Hope you all have been doing well. I'm currently in quarantine after testing positive for COVID-19 a week ago, putting up a good fight and having a tostada. No, well, I don't want to put words in his mouth. So it says a toasta salad this evening. Please continue to stay safe. I'm pretty sure it's a tostada salad.
Taylor, what's it like? Sorry you have it. Hope you're on the.
You mean the tostada salad? It looks delicious.
Yeah. Sending well wishes. Hope.
Yeah, that does look good.
Yeah.
Oh, you meant what's it like to be sick?
No, I'm in the salad.
Okay, good. All right.
Oh.
Yeah, but no, we our well wishes to you, Taylor. Hope hope you have a speedy recovery from that. Hope it doesn't get you too bad. Obviously, with it, people have varying degrees of, I guess, difficulty with it. So yeah, take care of yourself. Then we have Nikki D.
Nikki D says, just a beer while working on a rap song for a friend. May do some artwork later. Nice.
Look at that. Now that right there is a TV show beer.
Yeah.
Like, you cover up the logo. Nobody knows what you're drinking.
Yep.
That looks like a very tight cozy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's how some people like it, Paleo. Nora Mermaid says, hi, Semi-Perfect Podcast. Having some... Oh, man, Nora, you always get me ready. Like, I'm always ready for dessert when Nora posts. Having some vanilla ice cream with lots of rainbow sprinkles. Love you and miss you guys so much. Sending mermaid hugs to you all.
Oh yeah, I got ice cream in the fridge.
Oh yeah, ice cream in the fridge.
I don't know. Who put... Wait. You have ice cream in a fridge? It's gonna
Not
be...
my freezer. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought so. Okay, now this looks like something that I've eaten before.
David 3
See that right there, you'd see that on shitty food porn. I'm just
and cheese dogs for the podcast.
that is, I'm be real. No, I'm be real with you. I really do see these things as like modern art, where it kind of hear me. I'm not joking.
I'm listening.
No, I'm
Hear me.
hear me. Silence, fool. I speak it. No, I wanted. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing because usually people say, "No, hear me out." You just hear me.
Listen, all right. I think there's something very universal about this image, and that I'm gonna go home. I will. I will go home. I'm Paleo. You single? I think I'm looking to trade up here. All right.
Why'd you go to Paleo first?
All right, here we go.
Well, I guess.
Grace, you know what?
Thanks,
What I'm
Sarah.
trying to say is there's something universal about this where, and I think, Grace, you'll get me on this. When you walk into the kitchen at 2 a.m. and you're like, I'm hungry, but I don't feel like putting on the Ritz. You get desperate. You're like, I'm going to grab the last piece of bread in the basket, that weird, corner piece where it's kind of like crust. The butt, and then you're like, well, what else we got in here? All right, we got 3 slices of turkey and ham. I'll just throw that on there and slap some mayonnaise and a dill pickle or whatever. Not a dill pickle because you don't like that race, but still, like, you're kind of just putting together something just so you can eat it, and you're not being picky. And I see this as like, this is something that bourgeoisie people won't understand. This is the proletariat's food right here. So I really think this is what the people want to eat.
Yeah.
I think also, to be fair, in your story you were telling, there's
Story.
you have to if it's something that happened. It's
Oh
still a
yeah,
story.
okay.
But it is that there you have to be a certain level of hungry to get past the not wanting to get out of your warm cozy bed at 2:30 in the morning. Is that what you said?
2:30.
At 2:30 in the morning. So it's like you gotta be ready.
Hungry.
You gotta be ready to get whatever food you can get.
I agree, and I really think this unifies us, like, because this is the kind of thing where I see this picture and I see humanity in it. So
God bless America. July 16th.
I see the backbone of America.
Well, you know what I see in this picture? It totally reminds me of like slumber parties where you're at like either someone's at your house or you're at someone else's house, and it's just like, dude, we got hot dogs, but we don't.
Does anybody ever else feel scared when they went to the like sleepovers?
Yes.
Around the parents, like,
let's
like,
talk
don't
about
you
this.
dare
Let's
follow
talk
them.
about this. We'll come back to the food post in a minute, Sarah.
Okay.
So it depended, obviously. Like for me, I was intimidated by some parents more than others. But yeah, like not in a bad way. Like just like I would get in trouble with some parents more than others.
I will tell you right now about an episode I had with a friend and his dad that still scars me to this day. I remember going to my buddy Alex Gilmore's birthday.
Outed.
Oh yeah, I'm tagging him on Twitter.
Only.
He's doing well. He's like a doctor now, and like we went to Blockbuster with his other friends that were having a sleepover at his house for his birthday, and we're all walking around the video game aisle at the Blockbuster to go pick a game. And I'm like, Alex, dude, get this. Alex, dude, you should get this. And his dad, who's like, I mean, he looks like he was like an NBA star. Like this guy looks like he played like legit basketball, but he was doing some like other business on the side. They're a really well off family. Well, Mr. Gilmore, who's a very like imposing man, looked at me and goes, "Hey, Steven, it's Alex's birthday. How about he chooses?" And he said it dead serious with a very deep voice, and I felt like my soul escaped my body. And I was, because I'm already sensitive as it is, even as an adult, when like that can really throw me off. Not like I get upset, but more like, oh, well, I'm gonna shut up now. So Kid Me like was petrified for the rest of the night, and I was like, well, shit.
It ruins the like mood to have something like that. Where it's like,
yeah,
parents, stay out of this. All right,
The only thing that saved it was Pokemon Snap. That saved it. That we did get it.
So I have two sleepover stories actually. One involves somebody, a really good friend of mine from my childhood, who I haven't spoken to in maybe, I don't know, 16 years. Tommy. But yeah, so this guy named Daryl, I used to, again, we were really good friends, so we used to like do a lot of sleepovers, and this one time I slept over at his house. We were like, sleeping on the ground or whatever in our sleeping bags, and I was just like, I don't know, half out of the sleeping bag. And I remember it was dark. There was a hall light that was on, so I couldn't really see that well. And I felt like this weird like tingling on my arm. And I turned my head because the tingling went away, and I turned my head to see a daddy longlegs crawling away from me, like on the carpet crawling away. And I damn near walked out the door at that moment. I was like, you know what? This was fun. 3 a.m. I'm out of here. I'm walking home.
Wow.
I was like, this isn't right.
I thought you were the daddy was crawling on you or something.
There was a tingling on my arm, and I looked over and I was like, hello, Daryl's dad. No. And he was like, yo, let's play Pokemon. No, so the other one was, this one's much more goofy. But, so I mentioned intimidation. Tommy's dad, when I was a kid, I just must have pissed him off more than anything in the world, because I always got like grumpy shit from him. Always.
What the heck, dude? But you're such an agreeable, kind person who's not stubborn at all.
And I was 100% not obnoxious as a child. Like, I don't know.
You are a good boy, dude.
I was, yeah, thank you. And
you're welcome. I love you.
This wasn't on for anything, right?
No.
I accidentally just restarted our other computer.
Is that the chair squeaking, or is there a bird outside our window?
I don't know. So this one night, I'm spending the night at Tommy's, and we do some of the stupidest shit, but you can imagine how some of that stupid shit magnified when we were kids. In some ways, it's gotten much worse in others, like us doing demolition derbies. But we, this one night, we decided at 4 a.m. that, hey.
Sorry, the Queen of England just stopped by.
I thought that was our computer, because ours is restarted right now. So we
sorry, Laura, starting solitaire out of it just because I'm playing on my phone. She's gonna come up with solitaire.
Panic. Wait,
he closed it. It's gonna happen again.
I know, but I don't want to play.
Whenever Celeste takes a shit. Yep.
So we and
it's gonna go again.
Sorry, Race.
It's
sorry,
okay.
Sarah.
It's all right. It's all right. Wait, I'll so flashback.
No, I muted it. Everything's fine.
Oh, it's muted. Dang, I was gonna use the flashback sound. So to help paint this picture, Tommy's parents have since moved, but they used to live in a mobile home, not like a trailer, but like the homes that, like the houses you see on the freeway that you're like, that's a freaking house that's driving down the freeway. So it's built on stands, which means that it's not like on the ground, which means it's kind of like a 2-story where if you like drop something or kind of slam your foot against the ground, like the whole house shakes.
Really?
So at about 4 a.m., Tommy and I decide, what if we coordinated a music video that we weren't going to film, just coordinated a music video to the hamster dance. with me on top of Tommy's shoulders. And at one point, again, 4 a.m., at one point during this routine, it was going very well until Tommy lost his balance, and I went face first into the floor. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that his parents thought a bomb went off.
Yeah.
And then...
Did you live?
No, but it was worth it. And no, I mean, I was fine. Again, you know, I was as resilient as ever.
Did you cry?
Of laughter. I was laughing my ass off. It was funny. But then like it took his dad like 15 minutes to show up. So here I am on Tommy's shoulders once again. We're dancing to the hamster dance.
Wait, you did it again?
Yes! And then his dad, all of a sudden, I don't even remember what he said. I just remember him being very pissed off. And us both just turning around. I didn't have a choice because I was on Tommy's shoulders. So Tommy turns around with me on his shoulders and his dad just standing there in his boxers with his eyes shut but standing up, yelling at him.
Oh, no.
It was awesome. Good times, man. Good times. There's so
here's a
many.
question for you all.
Yeah.
Do you all look back on, I don't know, moments when we were kids and we felt intimidated by adults? And now that we have adult strong brains, we look back on those moments and we're like, that was bullshit. Like, if my adult brain was in my kid brain, I'd be like, hey, teacher, you're unqualified or something.
I 1,000,000% can give you an exact scenario for me.
Okay, let's see. You go back to your kid brain somehow? I'm curious now.
Yeah, I'm there because I've
Nice.
so this is one of those where, dude, if I could just go back with the mentality, it's probably good. I can't because I don't know how it would have ended. This is gonna take some context. So I'll start with the context because if I start with the ending first and move back, it's gonna sound much worse. So when I was a kid, and I may have told this story before on this podcast, I think I was in 6th grade, and, you know, 6th graders mess with each other all the time. And there was this one kid in our class who would always bring water bottles to class, and for some reason we all got like Oreos one day, and I was like, hell yeah. Well, the kid walked off, and I'm like, I'm gonna be a little shit, which I was. I was being a little shit, and I'm like, I'm gonna put, or I think I asked my friends sitting across from me, hey, should I put some cookie crumbs in his drink and see if he notices? And they were like, dude, do it. He's not looking. Do it. Okay. And I did it. Amongst other weird things, you guys remember like glue balls and stuff like that?
Glue balls?
Okay.
I thought you said blue balls. I was like,
Do you remember back in blue balls? No, glue balls. What you put like the Elmer's glue that they always had an abundance of at my school, and you would just start like rubbing your hands together, and it would start to form a ball. You pour more glue in your hands, it forms more of a ball, and you just see how big you can make the ball.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. Another thing I would do is I would take up like sometimes I'd take the graphite pencils and I would make the graphite into like powder and just like start smearing it into like, I don't know, I was bored, so I was doing something.
I did that. Yep.
Right? Okay, so you've done it. So I say all this because the following day after I did the crumbs in the drink, harmless, whatever, the next day I had, but but this guy, his name was or is is Josh. I didn't kill him. Spoiler alert: he survives. I guess like something on his desk was misplaced, and so the teacher assumed that there was foul play afoot. It was like his pencil holder or something was gone. And so the teacher is like, whoever did this needs to fess up. And all of a sudden I saw like my friends looking at me, and I'm like, what? And they're like, dude, we have to tell her. And I'm like, tell her what? Like, she's asking about this pencil case. And he's like, we have to tell her what you did. And I'm like, you motherfuckers talked me into doing this. And now I'm going to get into trouble because I put cookie crumbs in this kid's drink. and they did. They went to the teacher and they're like, Jeff did this stuff. It had nothing to do with the missing, pencil thing. So my teacher then pulls me aside and is like, I wish this wasn't true, but I have to report this. And I was just, and I'm like, holy shit, like, I'm in trouble. Then fast forward to, I am sitting in the principal's office, all right? And Mrs. Copley was like, this is like the ultimate form of authority, right? Like when you're a kid in elementary school, this might as well be the queen, of America. You're just like, holy shit, I need to make her proud. And she's sitting me down, and she's, they always start with you explaining what you did. And at this point, I was like, oh, okay, this is what I did. And she's like, oh, anything else? And I was like, well, no. That was all I did. I understand there was other stuff, but that's all I did. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, then you want to explain to me how pencil ended up inside of his drink.
What?
And I was like, huh? I mean, I can tell you about the cookie crumbs. And she's like, you tried to lead poison somebody. He could have choked on pencil bits. That is attempted murder. I kid you not, the words that came out of her mouth as she's looking me dead in the eye is that what you did was attempted murder.
Wow.
My God.
And I sat there again listening to authority of an adult going, holy shit. I did.
Adult.
And I was like, holy shit, I did attempted murder. Like, I remembered hearing that phrase on a TV show once, or in a movie, of someone saying attempted murder, and thinking like, oh my God, I'm going to hell. I attempted to murder somebody. And my teacher, or the principal, I tried to explain, but when she was telling me this stuff, I just kind of bowed down to it like, fuck. I mean, if you say so, that's the case. I guess
You're like, we should discuss this over drinks.
I said, I looked her dead in the eye.
I'm gonna become one.
I looked her in the eye and I said, you motherfucker. What? No, I didn't say that. But and yeah, and you want to talk about sketch, right? So I remember they did like this whole thing where they were like, we need to talk to Josh and see if there's a way that we cannot report this to his parents because they might file charges and all this shit. Which again, nowadays I look back at like, that seems sketchy. Like, what? Like,
It's weird when we were adults now looking back on it going like, something seems like that was not handled right.
Right. And but again, I wasn't going to argue with the principal of the school. Like, when she said, this is what you did, I went, fuck. I'm sorry. And I got suspended for it.
You got suspended?
Oh yeah. I attempted to murder somebody, Saberspark.
So it's
I'm
too bad
sorry,
you didn't know
like,
PanamaMatt at the time.
If I can go back in time and slap your principal across the face, I would. I'd be like, again, like, that's something where, look, I don't want kids, but if I ever had a kid and some principal told me that's what happened to my kid, I'd be like, are you fucking insane? Like,
I have a question. I'm a little confused. Did your principal think that you were trying to give this kid lead poisoning because pencils are made of graphite.
Yeah.
I'm glad you pointed this out because I remember that being the first thing that went through my mind as a kid, where I was like, you know, I didn't speak up to it because I knew to respect authority, you know, and I was like, I can't speak out against this. But just about everybody went, you tried to lead poison someone with a graphite pencil? That's new.
Like what?
Like, I don't know. And again, the whole...
knows no bounds.
Hi, Matt.
My favorite part of the story
Yeah.
is when Race was being berated by this principal, saying, "You're going to jail. You know, this is almost attempted murder." A little boy with glasses, a little tall, lanky boy, was looking up from his desk, and there was a light in his eye, and he said,
Objection.
"Never again." And PanamaMatt became a lawyer to defend justice.
I'm sorry, Lanky.
Lanky,
Oh, yes,
long-legged,
Matt.
giraffe-like boy.
But yeah, no, I mean, all of that together was something that it is absolutely, when you ask, is there a moment in time where you're like, that was bullshit because an adult basically told you something, and you're like, if I could go back, that was it for me. Because there was, like, because I was about to graduate elementary school, like, there were awards that I had earned that they were like, we don't know if we can give this to you now. And all this
my
shit.
God.
Yeah. And here's the kicker with this whole story. This guy that I apparently attempted to murder back in the day, yeah, he and I were roommates in college.
Oh, God.
Oh my God, they were roommates.
Wait, what?
They were roommates.
I had not heard that development.
I
Yeah.
hope that you find justice. I hope it'd be funny if like your never mind. This is too long of a tangent.
Did you finally finish the job in college?
Yeah, right. To finish the job off, she's like at a Starbucks.
I
and
told
like,
him about this, and he was like, I didn't even know this happened. I was like, what?
We've got
Alright.
more food posts.
We got more food.
Yeah,
Sarah,
we
I'm trying to
paused.
talk about how I tried to kill somebody.
We paused in the middle of
Sarah.
food posts.
I love that I'm on a phone call for 40 minutes after the podcast starts. I come into an attempted murder,
Was
and
that
we're still not done with food posts.
was that a
Stopped
good
in the middle of it.
was that a good example, Saber? Did I do good?
It's okay.
Okay.
Also, Nora asked me to asks me to tell you to
Yes.
stop getting off topic.
Oh.
Never.
I know that will never
Reminds me
happen.
One time of when I was a young warthog.
All right, we got Logan Peter. My little drink boy's drinking his magic. Drinking
My
a
little
Coca-Cola.
drunk boys.
You haven't.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
I mean, we're not drunk yet, but good choice of Coca-Cola.
Yes.
Honestly,
We
that's
got
like.
My little drunk.
Here we go.
Saberspark
Saberspark.
with
Yes.
this beautiful
Oh my
photo
God,
of
that is
chili.
salsa.
Is that salsa?
Yeah, finally. Everybody else is saying chili. Race
No,
gets
no.
me.
That is
And then a
freaking
cup of water.
delicious looking salsa. Where is that salsa from?
I ate it and then I had to use the bathroom, and then
So it's from a very good place.
no, I ordered it from a Mexican place here in Northern Virginia.
As
It
far
was
from
pretty good.
Mexico as you can get. But
Though I'll tell you this: the refried beans, off. They tasted like just like liquid.
they tasted like liquid.
Yes.
It tasted like solid. No, it didn't have any flavor to it. I was like, this is gross.
Yeah.
So, but the chicken and vegetables were really. It was chicken fajitas, a very generous portion of that. And it was solid. So
Nice.
yeah, I had a good meal.
Dude, that salsa looks delicious. Britt says, we already ate. We had Taco Bell. So here's a semi-blurry selfie as I work on commissions and Andy games.
Nice.
Hope y'all are doing well.
Yeah. Britt getting the job done with those commissions.
And then last
Keep it
one,
up.
we got Lucy Carpenter. Hello, everyone. Having cheeseburger mac for dinner. I like it.
It says cheeseburger mad.
Okay, well, it's corrected it saying
Oh.
mac.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was actually
if you
hoping
like
it was.
meat, right?
It's may I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
I promise
Just
I'll
did.
keep it
Do it.
on point. Do you guys ever eat like microwave food when you were young, or still do?
Yeah.
Who stopped?
Well, like, what do you mean by that?
Like lean cuisine, hot pockets.
Like
Microwave.
things that you either nuke and or bake?
Yeah, like pre-made meals that you just throw in the microwave and eat up.
I have 2 chicken pot pies in my freezer right now. Yes.
I had one yesterday for lunch.
Wait, God, I guess I'm just better than you guys. Jeez.
Are you
Sure, you want to go down that road,
Alright,
Saber? You sure about that?
Was it Rage, what was it though?
I always get the Mary Callender's frozen meals, just in case I ever get in a bind. I'm like, crap, I don't have anything to make, which is because I never buy anything to make, so it's by design.
Hold on.
Yeah.
What about kid cuisines? Did you all ever dance with that when you were young?
No, never did kid cuisine.
I may
always
have
stuck
had
with
one
adult.
once.
You had one once. Hey, here's a question, a follow up to that. For those who had kid cuisines, why is it that whenever you put that in the microwave and it comes out, there's like the dessert section that it kind of fuses with the plastic and becomes molten lava, and it's like, ew, is this even edible now? I'm not sure. Maybe you all know what I'm talking about. Maybe the
I think I may have been between the ages of 5 and 8, and therefore did not know how to operate the microwave successfully yet.
I think
I can't answer that.
I think Jax is saying that he still eats lean cuisine. Wait, is it lean cuisine or children's lean cuisine or
Kid cuisine.
I think
kid
that came out just
cuisine?
before.
Lean cuisine. Why am I saying lean?
I think Jack's
there
talking
is
about
lean
microwave foods.
That's
I
also
think
a
Jack's
thing.
talking about microwave foods.
Oh.
I'm sorry, but like, I don't know. I used to eat that stuff a lot when I was a kid, like lean cuisines and like pre-made. Yeah, I'll have the meatloaf with mashed potatoes and green beans, and then you put it in the microwave and the plastic's like melting, and it's like I feel like it's a dystopian future when I'm eating it. I'm like, oh.
To
I mean,
answer
Saber, there is a good solution for this. Stop microwaving your food.
Eat it
Yeah.
cold.
Eat it frozen right out of the freezer.
Yummy.
Young mac and
Sarah
cheese
makes
on a stick.
Yeah, you make mac and cheese all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah,
Nice.
I heat up. my-
That's different. No, hold on, real fast. If you microwave like those big portions, like lasagna or mac and cheese, you're okay. But if it's a single person meal,
It is a single person.
and
meal.
your
It is a
and
single
your tears are
person.
hitting that meatloaf like Jack's play when he eats his stuff, like
Well,
When-
I hate
when
to
his
disappoint you,
tears-
Saber, but it was a single serve macaroni and cheese.
now you're walking the razor's edge.
Well, no,
All
to
right.
be fair, it had 2 servings, but Sarah always goes all out.
No,
Yeah.
it's a 1 serving.
No,
I kid, by the way. I was legitimately wondering about like microwavable food and just your thoughts about it, guys.
no, I love
So-
again, we are good with off-topics. So, yeah, I am all down. I never answered your question, by the way. I had like a sweet chicken with rice thing.
Nice.
He asked what I ate, and it had
What
vegetables.
about anybody here ever eat hot pockets?
Dude, those
No.
things are fucking dangerous.
They are.
Why?
Thank you.
They're like molten lava.
Yeah,
when
have you
pop out of
ever
the-
bit into one?
right when you?
I mean,
put
not
it
when it
down
was
in the
right,
microwave?
not when it was done. I waited a little while because I could feel the outside was molten, so
See,
I waited for the inside.
that
to
is
That's
cool.
the problem
spoken.
is you can't. I don't think you can ever actually get a hot pocket that actually is like cooked properly because that's it.
I mean-
You're absolutely right. You just nailed it. I didn't even think about that.
It's
What?
in the name, hot pocket.
Yeah, but
How are you diving into them?
it's
when
either
you're done?
half frozen or it's like the problem I have is that like Matt, I understand you say you wait, but your privilege is showing with your ability to wait because like
when I was
You,
when
you-
we're
you-
between
you mean
all-
my self-control and my like,
Ooh,
preparing for the
lovely.
future?
Here's a question though: do y'all ever like? I want to sound like a freaking monster. Y'all, I know some folks who are already. I just assume the answer's no. So, Race,
Uh-huh.
have you ever taken a hot pocket and slurped out the innards like a
Ew.
bug?
Oh god, I'm gonna go
No.
throw up.
I'm, so-
Oh.
I'm done. I'm sorry. It's like a spider. The hot pockets.
Stop.
I'm
Slimy yet satisfying.
It goes sick to my stomach.
so sorry. I'm done. All right. What
I
I'm done.
do I want to answer this question. The way I eat my hot
sorry,
pockets
honey.
is I cut it in half, right? So you got like this like kind of like this small long opening, right? And I just kind of like
Yeah.
lick it like almost like an ice cream.
You like it?
Yeah. I perform Never mind.
Race is good with his tongue. We'll leave it at
The
that.
chat. I see that some of the chat's saying Saber drunk. I am not, as a matter of fact. This is sober me.
Are you in the process of getting drunk?
No, I'm not. I'm
Nor
Are
not.
you drinking
mermaid.
anything right now?
Serotonin, enjoying it.
All right.
But-
Nor Mermaid sends a super chat saying, Saber, shush.
But
All right, I'll be quiet.
Thank
But-
you, Nora.
but-
No. You say that, but you won't.
soon we'll start
I
talking
will.
about
I
the visual right now. I'm like, wow. By the way, if anyone sees me typing,
It's me.
it's Sarah, totally framing as me.
Well, it's on your channel.
It is on my channel. That's true.
I'm usually always the one typing during a stream.
Have you ever like said something that's very like?
No.
Have you ever been like, hey, I dislike a movie with?
No.
Okay, good.
Oh, Lauren and I
Zootopia.
watched Tarzan 2 last night.
Yes, we did.
There's a second one.
There was a Tarzan
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
It was bad.
Huh.
Return to the Jungle.
Well, it was. Yeah, no, he was still in the jungle as
it
a
was
kid.
prequel.
Oh.
I mean, Britt Mullen just posted a super chat here.
Oh.
Saying, well, this was not a convo I was emotionally prepared for. I may need more alcohol before discussing eating a hot pocket like a spider.
I'm glad that the spider one was the one
that went over the edge.
Well, yeah, it was that
Well-
one. Like me performing oral to a hot pocket apparently was just
dear
fine.
Lord.
I never thought I would hear that combo of words, me doing oral to a hot pocket. Someone
Stranger things
tweet
have been
that
said in
and
this
be like,
podcast.
AC Race Best.
Yeah, someone put
20.
20s, but
See, like,
Reminds
Race
me-
and I are drunk at these convention. Not drunk. I'm drunk. He's just high on life, and we're walking around the convention hall, and it's like, where are the hot pockets? Race wants to lick it, and I want to put it in my web.
Saber, remember
sadly
that
now
time
you know that you're
shotgunned
going to
a
get all
burrito?
the hot pockets in next
Shotgun a burrito. That's right.
What? Can you
Hey,
do
sorry,
that?
Shotgun burrito.
Has anybody shotgun a burrito before?
No.
I'm not sure what
that
that
possible?
means.
You grab a bean burrito and you bite a little hole in it, and you go shotgun, and you suck the guts of the burrito out.
I can't say I've done that.
All the
no.
cheese and refried beans get sucked out, and it's all liquefied, and you're almost
I
left
haven't
with the
seen-
husk of a pathetic tortilla.
Do we dare to go into weekly catch up?
Yeah, let's go
I
for
mean,
it.
Okay.
I, before we get there, I would like to riff off Britt's thing. Coming back to Hot Pockets,
Mm.
I had a friend that was doing a volunteer thing down in Costa Rica, and part of the meal during orientation, they served Hot Pockets for lunch, and she had one of the vegetarian ones because she is.
I'm sorry.
And eating a hot pocket like a spider just reminded me of this because when they served her hot pocket, I don't know how they cooked it, how long they cooked it. It was served to her, and as she was about to take a bite, a spider crawled out of it.
How?
Oh.
Literally how?
I don't know how they cooked it. I don't know if they cooked it. Thus began the phrase spider pocket.
I'm sorry.
never
And that is
thought-
how I will know these from here.
I'm
until
sorry. I'm
eternity.
sorry.
There are like 3 or 4 things we've said so far in this podcast that I feel like has never been uttered by human existence. So,
Spider pocket? No. She's actually the one that coined the phrase.
well, there you go. Spider pockets,
Spider
giving
pocket.
oral to a hot pocket, and spider pockets. And no, so spider pockets, it all comes full circle. Jesus.
It does.
The hot pocket ate the spider.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god. Matt, how are you doing?
Yes. What am I doing? I'm sitting here. What are you doing?
No, I said, how are you doing?
Yeah, how are your 2 weeks been?
Good for the most part.
That sigh wasn't very reassuring.
Honestly, during these COVID times, time has ceased to matter. We are on perpetual island time.
Island?
I can't tell you what's happened over the last 2 weeks. I don't remember if today is today or, different from yesterday, different from the day before yesterday.
Are you staying safe?
I mean, I'm doing my part.
Matt, I'm actually a little concerned because what it sounds
Why?
like you're describing with your inability to keep track of time sounds like you've had a concussion in the past.
I mean, I did get rear-ended by a Highlander in October of last year.
I'm thinking maybe a little bit further back. Like when you agreed
I mean, I
to
did
have Tommy.
rail. I did rail my head against a roll bar in a piece of shit, whatever the hell I was in.
I just recently watched that episode, and needless to say,
Okay, so-
I still can't keep the tears out of my eyes. I'm laughing so hard.
You ever get scared,
Well,
Matt? when
I
you're,
can't.
like,
I
racing
can't
to
keep the
death
tears
or
out of my
something?
eyes either because involuntarily I'll just start tearing up because of the brain damage I've sustained. No, I'm kidding.
What did
shouldn't
you
joke
ask,
about that, but-
Saber?
I said, Matt, do you ever like, I don't know, when you're hanging out with Tommy and Race and they're doing their shenanigans of like blowing up cars? Do you ever just sit in there? You're like, these guys are gonna be the death of me someday. Like this is it.
No.
No, okay.
For as chaotic as they are, they have a good luck charm. Number one, I'll put that for anyone that's seen the low budgets.
There.
But number two, they actually give a shit about safety. They'll throw caution to the wind, but they have knowledge of safety. Like Tommy. So to bring those of you in this podcast that aren't familiar with this story, go watch the low budgets. Go watch the chain race I was in. Go find it, Race, if you have a site to it.
Season 3. Chain
Episode
race.
which? Okay, season 3 chain race. I was the rear car in a chain race, and for those of you that don't know what a chain race is, it is two cars. The front one has.
What the hell was
What the hell was
that?
that?
What was that?
I don't know.
That was an eagle.
Anyone want to own up to that?
That was
us.
was us. That's you.
Oh, good
Was
God.
that the tire screeching for Matt's car?
Oh, what's happening?
I mean, someone in the chat just asked you where Black Griffin is, and quite frankly, with that screech, I think we know over at Laura's.
Oh my God. what
Britt did
is
send us a
happening?
super chat, by the way, saying that she just gagged over that spider pocket. So, yeah, Britt.
So, for those of you that don't know what a chain race is, the car in front has the engine, has the drive, brake, and all that like a normal car, and it's chained to a deadweight slug about 6 feet behind? Race?
12.
12 feet, okay. The rear car has no power. Nominally, it has brakes because you can press the pedal and it feels like it does something. But other than that, you're coasting free behind the driver, 12 feet behind.
It's supposed to be
car
6, but Tom and I made it 12.
I mean, I appreciate that. It gave me a lot more. It felt like I had a lot more control for the moment, and you'll understand why I say that in a second. I don't know whose job it was to put the cotter pins in the hood to hold it down, but a couple laps into the race, Tommy and I were out in the lead. We were, Race, feel free to bring me back in on this, but we were handily in the lead. It felt good. We were making some good time pulling away. We had a chance at winning. And then we went around a corner and the hood flew up in front of my face. I'm 6'4". This car was small generally.
Did you die?
Yes, I died, Saber. I got better though.
That's good.
But bear in mind that when this hood pops up, the only way you can see is like down at the very bottom where it vaguely arcs right at the dashboard level, and there's no way I'm getting my head down to look at that. My helmet is touching the roof. The roll bar that was welded into this car is at forehead level. It is below the roof of this car. So if we roll, it's going to be exciting. Anyway, thankfully we did not roll, but not being able to see, I can't see when we're taking turns, so I become one that is along for the ride rather than a second driver. And the way they mark out this course is with tractor tires, very large tractor tires that are painted white so you can see them when your hood is down. I could not see them. And so it was that we went around a corner and I railed into a tractor tire that in the video bounces great. It did not feel like it moved. What did move, however, was my head forward in the car to make contact with the roll bar.
Oh, this onboard camera was epic.
Oh, yeah. It is not as brutal as it felt, but it still really conveys the message. So that was great. Let me not do that again. I keep trying to get the car back under control, but sure enough, I'm going right toward another one, and I hit that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a tingle down the entirety of my spine. And I quickly come to the realization that if that happens again, I'm going to die. But I'm behind Tommy, who, if you've seen the low budgets, is gung-ho whenever he enters into any event. He has knowledge of safety. He exemplifies safety in terms of not dying. But when he goes in, he's going to have some fun. And I'm behind him with no communications whatsoever.
Nope.
No. The only communication I have, and this comes to me after what felt like 30 seconds, but in the video is fairly quick. I start yanking the wheel side to side to try and spin him out or get his attention or something.
Yep.
Like doing the cutting motion across my neck to say, slow down, stop, please, for the love of God, don't move. And thankfully, in the video, it looks like it was only a quarter of a lap, but it felt like we were going forever.
Yeah.
We pulled off to the side, and sadly, we did not win, spoiler alert. But, yes.
So to quickly tie in this this story here, from I'll never forget Tommy describing why he stopped, because he's driving. He kind of looks back to check, and at one point he's like, I could feel Matt doing something back there, but I wasn't gonna lift for anything.
No, he wasn't.
Until he finally turned around to see Matt literally hanging halfway out the front windshield of this car with his whole body going, God damn it, Tommy, stop! And Sarah and I finished third in that race.
Yeah.
Now I bring this up
Why?
because I wanted to say, for any fans of the low budgets, and to answer, Elias is asking what low budgets episode we're talking about. It was there you go. So Matt's actually on top of it. Season 3 chain race.
I have some purpose here.
I don't know the exact episode number. However, the reason we are talking a little bit about the low budgets, and you guys are the first ones to know this, I haven't uploaded, I think, an episode, and it feels like a freaking year.
Yeah.
I have episodes lined up. So I think tomorrow I'm going to be releasing the first one in a while of the low budgets. So yeah, excited about that. So that'll be coming your way. It's just been madness with everything. Also, well, I was laughing because Nora has sent us a super chat saying, can we get back on topic, pretty please? But you see, I tied it in to where that was on topic. And
the topic of how's Matt's 2 weeks been?
The low budgets is coming back to my channel.
Okay.
See, perfect circle.
Paleo, how have your 2 weeks been?
All right.
All right, Saber. No, I'm kidding.
Stay on topic, come on, dude. Stay on topic.
But we're crashing.
Well,
Stay on topic.
I've been fine, just doing my thing. You know me, guys. I'm just living life and blowing butts.
That's what happens when you eat that salsa.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
I
don't want to blow a butt. Is that like a sexual? Sorry.
I mean, you said it. What did you mean by it?
I don't know. I said it. I wasn't ready to say this.
Paleo, what have you been up to the last 2 weeks? Anything exciting?
Nothing too exciting, really.
You're watching.
Sarah sent me that Adventure Time book.
Yay.
The Art of Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah. I hope you enjoy it.
Shows PaleoSteno.
What?
You watched any good shows?
Oh yeah, Close Enough came out on HBMX, and that's from the same creator of regular show, JG Quintel, and it's really good.
It is good.
That's the more like adult style of
Yeah.
show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It still very much feels like regular show. It's just that since it's an adult show, they can get away with other stuff.
Yep.
Such as?
There's an episode where they go to a club because the main characters are these two parents, Joshua and Emily, and they have 2 roommates who got divorced but they still live together, and they're all like making fun of each other for like staying on a Friday night and like watching the Bake Off. and they're like, we're still young, we can party, and they go to a club, and there's this great montage scene where they're like, we're gonna party hard, and it's like they're drinking, dancing, and then the lights go on in the bar, and like, we did it, we made it to closing time, and the bartender's like, oops, sorry, that was an accident, it's only 9:15. And they're like, where they're like, oh no, it hasn't been that long. That was pretty good. If you're a 30-year-old or in your 30s or late 20s, you're kind of getting to that phase of being the young adults and like just doing the life stuff, like where you start to enter the status quo of it. I think this show will speak to you.
I'm sorry. When did early 30s become young adult?
Young adult? That's fair. Old mid-adult.
Yes, thank you.
Just adult.
Young old man.
No, 40-year-olds are old. Not me. I'm young.
There you go. Now you got it.
Sometimes I do have moments where I'm like, man, 30-year-old seemed so much older when I was a kid.
Race, I'm with you. I actually was thinking about this where, like, I think it'd be funny if some cop was like, hey, you're doing something wrong. I'd be like, I'm sorry, dude, I'm just a kid. And it's like, what are you talking about? You're 31.
Don't send me to juvie.
I'm sorry, officer. I'm just a kid.
How's Laura doing? How have your last 2 weeks been? We hear you're getting ready to move.
Yeah, I'm finally scooting over to the new apartment. It's funny because, like, if for those who have followed the chronicles of this, the reason I'm moving apartments is because the people living above me are like super obnoxious and like were mean about it, and they were gonna let me move to a new, not the people above me, but the leasing office obviously was gonna let me move to a different apartment in the community, so I didn't have to live under these people anymore. But they moved out like 2 weeks ago. And I'm still moving into a different apartment. I'm like, well, I'm still getting a better apartment. Like, it's in a better spot. It has more windows. So, like, and it's not changing my rent. So, yeah, I'm going to still take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you still below anyone, though?
No, I will be on the top floor as well.
Hooray!
She is a top.
Yes. Moving on.
I don't know. Sarah's over here just like, what the hell is this podcast? Burrito Sarah.
I mean, it is a semi-perfect podcast.
Oh, indeed. Well, congratulations on that. Hope the move goes smoothly.
Thank you.
Yeah. How's work and everything been? Is that smoothed out at all?
I mean, it's kind of the same. I mean, similar of chronicles of, we never stopped going to work with COVID and everything. So it is what it is. Myself and one other person of like the 5 people who were there most of the time have been wearing masks all the time, but nobody else really is. So it's like a little frustrating, but like, there's only, 5 people there. So it's like, it's not like we're being exposed to a ton of people or anything. So it's just kind of a weird situation to be in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. For Matt, I'm just kind of circling back because I know Sarah and I we've been back to work for a few weeks now. Have things kind of returned to more of a normal for you, or are courts still weird?
Courts are still figuring out how they're doing things. Everyone has a different procedure, and in some ways it's our job to figure out what that is. I can tell you stories, but we have other things to do with our time. But that being said, for me, it is slowly returning to something that resembles normal. I'm beginning to get clients coming back in again, which is nice. And in fairness, I practice more than criminal law. I do estate planning and probate and all that stuff too. So, it's not like crime stopped during all this, but when I say business coming back, I don't mean that crime is on the rise. I want to be clear about that. But everything is beginning to move forward again, and everything that comes with it. It's just a very uncertain and unpredictable time. When this all first started and courts closed, they were kicking cases out a month or two, or 3 if you were ambitious, because this might be done by then. So I had cases that were moved to July because that was so far out that this would be done.
All right. All right.
That has changed, but we're at least getting procedures in place to actually get meaningful progression on cases, and it's beginning to return to something that passes for normal. We're not quite there yet, but it's doing pretty good actually.
Good.
I'm much better off than most.
Well, happy to hear. Sarah, how have your last 2 weeks been?
Oh, they've been fine. I've just been going to work.
Just going to work?
Just going to work.
That's it?
I mean, maybe I'll save. Well, because I don't want to take up too much time because we've got a good amount of things.
Well, kinda.
Okay.
I say we're gonna do what I said we're gonna do.
Okay, all right.
And then we'll do that, and then
Okay.
that's.
All right. Well, I guess I'll
That's why I was stretching
I'll
it
tell
out.
the biggest story, I guess, that happened to me in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah!
I got low-key threatened to be shot
Woo!
What?
by a customer. Yeah, okay.
Fuck you, Sarah!
Story time.
So I work at an RV park, and there's one gentleman who is elderly that lives there that he's a retired cop, and he can be a bit abrasive at times. So one day, Brian, my manager, he asked me to take a couple of pictures of certain sites, and one of those was that man's site, and I was like, oh fuck.
What were the pictures for?
They were just for our system. I don't know why my manager wanted me to take those pictures, but he was just like, yeah, just go out there real quick and take those pictures. So I did, and I was trying to be really quick about it because I knew that potentially this dude was going to be having a problem. In hindsight, yes, I should have walked up to his RV and asked, but I feel like he was going to give me shit anyways, no matter what I did. So I just took a picture of his site, and then 2 weeks later, after I do that, he comes into the store and he is buying something, and then he's like, hey, so I noticed you outside of my RV last week, and I was like, yeah. And he's like, what were you doing? And I was like, yeah, my manager just asked me to take a picture of these 3 specific sites because they're overflow sites. They don't have proper hookups. So I was just explaining it to him, and then he's like, yeah, I don't like it when people do that kind of stuff. I'm always sitting there with a gun next to me, and he says it in a way that I'm just like, oh.
Oh my god.
Kind of pointed, and I was just like, oh, okay. And then he leaves, and then I told my manager, I'm like, hey, this guy just said this to me. And so my manager went to go talk to him, and then the guy came back to apologize, and I was like, alrighty. Yep.
Please don't shoot our employees or threaten to shoot them. Thank you.
Yeah.
That guy really is a C word. Coward.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's not cool. I don't get people like that who I got my gun at my shot. Don't make me have to use it, little lady. And it's oh, big tough guy. Go back to your trailer.
You must have been super threatening to him. When you
yeah.
were
Me,
All-
a petite woman.
all 5 feet 3 inches of you. He was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't he say I have a lot of people that...
Yeah, no, when he came to apologize for me, he's like, I'm a retired cop, and I put a lot of people away, and therefore I've got a lot of people looking...
Did I look like one of them? Did I?
So he's like, I've got a lot of people looking for me. And I'm just like, okay.
He should have been like, and we finally found you. Bam!
I mean, in fairness, I get where he's coming from. At the same time, no.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
They got people looking for me. Now they know.
Well, what's weird to me is that he presented to you that, I had the gun next to me the whole time after you explained to him. After you're like, I was doing something...
Yeah.
There's not a threat. I don't get that.
And after he already knew who you were and that you weren't a threat.
Yeah.
I think that him. That guy sounds like he's got a small dick. That's just the truth. And, I mean, who does that? Threatening someone that you know works at the office, like, bro, go take it up with my boss or something. Like, leave me out of this.
Oh, and
Sorry,
Sarah can take care of herself.
Yeah.
She's Texan.
Oh, she'll lay you. She will lay you out.
So yeah,
Don't be so modest.
for those that did come into that story halfway through or whatnot, yeah, Sarah was threatened.
Yeah.
She like low key threatened.
Low key was told that I would have probably been shot.
He was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I bet he didn't even have a gun.
I'm pretty sure he does.
Should have called him out, man. Like, I bet you don't even have a gun.
Pretty sure he does.
So to follow that up, my 2 weeks.
How do you follow that up?
Have been just, guys. I had to work.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Doing the racing stuff. Still with our production of non-fan events. So. You know, have the entire show basically on our shoulders that we're bringing to people during the weekends. Kind of a side note of sorts. I never, as many people probably know, I hate spoilers. I try to avoid spoilers at all costs, which is one reason I avoid talking about like NASCAR, for example. Even though I'm a big NASCAR fan, I don't really discuss a lot. I know I always talk about me covering racing, so it probably doesn't come as a surprise. But this past weekend, Sarah got to hear me basically informing the entire apartment complex that a driver that I was excited about winning won. Because a guy that used to race at Irwindale Speedway, where we do the low budgets and where I'm an announcer at, he was racing at Irwindale at a very young age, and he's worked his way up. He's only 22 years old, a rookie in the top series of NASCAR, and he somehow...
Wait a second. Which one?
Cole Custer.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Won on Sunday. By passing people 4 wide on the last lap. I was like, what just happened? I'm still like, what just happened? And it like literally like... It would take an entire racing podcast to explain, but
I can do right now. He drove faster.
He drove faster. Well, I just mean of all the ways that this was like a super huge significance. But needless to say, Sarah oftentimes is ready to start filming when I start going crazy.
Yeah.
She's done it like 3 times now, I think.
Yeah.
And you just hear me yelling, and happily. So yeah, that was cool. Other than that. Like I said, been working on. I released the bonus to the Bronies React from 6 months ago. That's pretty cool.
I watched that. It was like, man, I forgot how many folks you had involved in this React.
Yeah, honestly, that's part of the reason why that one came out so late. Like when I finished working on the first React of the actual React of it all. Yeah. I didn't realize how much that took out of me, and not in a bad way. Just I needed a break. I need a break, and it was right at the same time where the pandemic was starting, and there was a lot like I didn't have my momentum going into it. Had the pandemic not hit, I probably would have actually gotten that out like probably within the week, but there was a lot that we were figuring out at that point, and I just went, oh crap, I haven't released this yet. So, got the bonus out there. And like I said, now that I have the bonus out, I also intend on getting some low budgets out, as well as another project that's in the works. Gee, I wonder what it could be. Sarah, what could it be?
Another React?
I wouldn't go that far. I mean...
Well, how far would you go?
Never mind. So I'm looking at Sarah's itinerary. You have something on your list there, third down. That I don't know who hasn't seen it at this point.
Yeah.
But we can discuss.
Has anybody seen Hamilton?
Hi, yeah, I might have seen it once.
Laura and Saber, you guys saw it live, didn't you?
Yeah, we saw it in Philadelphia.
Hands are coming off for Hamilton.
Sarah and I recently
you not-
watched it.
Saber, please don't throw away your shot.
Or your pants.
Oh my no, throw away my pants. I'm curious. I'm gonna sit this one out because Laura's you're the resident Hamilton fan. So, what did you think of the play on Disney Plus?
It was perfect.
I know you're pointing out like the camera work being like outstanding.
Oh yeah, for it being a live performance, the way they were able to, because it's not like they, had the camera folks on stage like the whole time because there was an audience. Like people went to go see that, in the theater, and they had they'd have the camera people positioned so that it wouldn't interfere with the performance, and like the way they were still able to get the close-up shots that they got and a lot of the camera movements, very, very impressive. It's very high quality work for what it was.
Oh yeah.
And it was recorded back in 2016, I think it said, right?
Yeah.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Are all plays recorded like this, or
No, but they should be.
Mm-hmm.
that's what Sarah said about?
I want to see Beetlejuice.
And Adam's
I
family was
really hope that other performances are hey, this is a good idea and this is how we can get audiences outside of the wealthy people who live in New York City to be able to see these plays, people who want to see them, because it's very common for when plays get popular for there to be bootlegs of obviously you're not allowed to bring a camera and film it,
But they're shot on shitio, yeah.
yeah, and it's of course there's people are doing that because people live across the country and across the world who want to see these plays but don't have access to them.
Yeah.
And it's having this and being able to be yeah, I'll pay for a Disney Plus subscription to be able to see Hamilton from my house. Of course I've watched it 7 times since it came out, but it's that's because it's something that's very worth it to me, I guess. And it's I wish every play would do that, because it's I still would want to go see them if I got the chance, but it's so hard for people who don't have a lot of money and live in New York City to be yeah, let's just go see Hamilton, or let's just go see Beetlejuice or whatever.
Yeah, let's go to Broadway.
Yeah, it's you have to travel to New York City, which sucks on its own, and then it's especially now you can't. Well, Broadway's closed.
I wonder if that might change because of the pandemic, whether we have to adapt.
But it's even when everything.
I mean,
is
Disney Plus is them adapting, I think.
Well,
Yeah.
Disney Plus is also Disney money being hey, Lynn,
Yeah.
can we give you another ton of money to do stuff?
Yeah, and I think you might see the rest of Broadway follow suit.
Possibly. Well, has
There
anybody else?
have been some services in the past that are kind of similar. There's Broadway HD, and there's another one that I can't remember the name of, but they were trying to do online sort of streaming things for specifically just for Broadway plays, but I don't think any of them ever gained enough traction to really be as big as having something on Disney Plus, or if they made a deal with Netflix or Hulu or something, so that it would be something that's actually people know of and people have access.
I think it's a very niche as far as people who want to see that online or take off online, because it's also a very physical experience to go to a play.
That's very true.
And people want to do that and not just watch it on something.
Well, that's one thing I wanted to ask was that comparison, Laura, since you have it, since you've seen the play live, how it compared for you seeing it live versus seeing it through Disney Plus.
I guess my opinion on that specifically, because I really, really love musical theater, and another example, Les Miserables is my favorite musical just ever. They made a Les Miserables film. This is a lot of theatrical plays have been turned into Hollywood films, because it's oh, well, this way we can we'll make a movie and people can watch it at home, and they're never even within the same realm of quality. I mean, look at Cats. That was a nightmare. And like people like that show is one of like the most popular shows on Broadway for a reason. And it's like people like, you know, went and saw that movie and are like, I don't get it. Like, why do people like this? And it's like, because this is not what it is.
Meow.
And part of it is that feeling and like that presence that you have of being there and being physically there in the moment. But there are like so many people who, again, like can't physically be there just for like financial reasons or like travel reasons or whatever. And it's like, it's nice to have an option that's like, you know, more accessible.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be like, look, I can't afford to spend however much money it would cost for me to like go to New York, stay in New York, and then also buy tickets for like a Broadway show and like stay there for however long you would need to make it worth it. But I'd be willing to like shell out, you know, some money to be able to watch it from home, because even if I can't be there, I still want to have some experience of this thing that I love.
Yeah.
And that's like, I mean, comparing for Hamilton specifically, you know, we went and saw it live and it was freaking incredible. And I've still watched the Disney Plus performance, like the recording, 7 times since it's come out. And like, I'm gonna keep watching it, because it's like, it's not that same feeling of presence of physically being there, because you can't quite replicate that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's as close as you're gonna get without actually physically being in a theater. And even like this recording with like the camera work and like how close they're able to get, like, is, it kind of offers a different experience as well. So it's like, I appreciate having both.
Mhm.
But like, I also recognize that me being able to go to the theater to watch it is like a very, very fortunate experience, because, you know, there's so many people who can't, and like, for whatever reason, it's, I don't know, I've always wanted to have access to be like, you know, like, you know, like I mentioned with Les Miserables, it's like, I would like be 100% on board if they would make basically what they did for Hamilton for that, because I would watch that like almost every day, because it's so good. And I've only ever been able to see it live like once, which was, again, like one of the best experiences of my life. But like the movie they made, it's like, oh, well, this will be like a substitute so you can watch at home. And it's like, no, it's not even close to the same quality.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing. What's
No,
that?
don't read the book.
Don't read the book.
Well, the book said, but unless you really, really like French history and very verbose storytelling, then I would not recommend it.
Tales 2017 instead.
I wanted to add in here. I saw Britt mention this, and it was something that while Sarah and I watched it, it was your first time too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I should have known that. But it was our first time seeing Hamilton. And I also made note of the camera work, because I don't know, sometimes I'll kind of think about like the production side of something, having been on, you know, the production side of plenty of other projects. I was kind of like keeping an eye on that, like, okay, what did they do here? And that came to my eye of how they were getting because there are some shots where it's clear that there is a camera person on stage. That's the only way they could get this shot. And Britt, I guess, said that they did an interview with Lin-Manuel, and he said that they, I guess,
For select scenes.
Yeah, they did some close-up separate recordings.
Oh, okay.
and fused them together.
Interesting.
Yeah, which again is like, because I was looking for it. I'm like that's got to be what they did here, because when they make the cut, you'd see someone standing on stage.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm like, but it's so flawless, and I understand that's called choreography, right? Like, you know, they're supposed to be in the same spot. But I told Sarah, I'm like, watching a play like this, I'm like, dude, it almost raises like my anxiety a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll get into a car and crash it on purpose, no problem.
Yeah.
But watching people on stage in a play, I'm like, I turn to Sarah, I'm like, God, but what if they like,
what if they fuck up?
what if they fuck up and go, shit, was I supposed to go left or right? And Sarah's like, well, they improvise if they need to. And I'm like, improvise. Improv. Okay.
Yes, and
So, yeah, I
What
know.
do you think of the story, though? Like the actual like story of Hamilton himself and all the other folks involved. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I thought it was thought it was neat. It was a good show.
For me, admittedly, it took me, I think, because it's like 2.5 hours. I think it took me about 20 minutes to actually figure out, like, this is, because I didn't look into at all. Like, I didn't know what story I was getting, and I don't remember real squat of history, to be honest. So I was like, oh wow, they were rapping back then. That's so sweet. No, but so like I went into this like going, okay, so this is American history, and they lay it out. It's just it was just I had to get into like the mode, the speed with it. And once I was like, okay, I definitely got into it by like I said, it was just the first few minutes of the play where I was like, man, they talk so fast. And then I was like, oh, okay, I know what's going on now. And I think my personal favorite bit was whenever the king guy had his song.
The king guy.
The king guy.
To be honest,
who is the king.
I'm not a rap person, so I did really like the King's songs a lot. Like, I think those are some of my favorites. I think he had like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And then I liked In the Room Where It Happens or whatever. Yeah.
Oh,
I think those were my favorite songs from that music. Yeah.
Sarah, did you know that's Kristoff from Frozen?
Yeah. I found that out because I was like, man, he looks just so familiar. Where have I seen this face before? And like I look up who it is, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Kristoff. I've seen him in so many Frozen interviews or whatever.
La da 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 da. So no, I mean, again, it was something that I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know really any context until I figured out, oh, this is what we're talking about. Okay, cool. I don't know why it took me so long to figure out what Hamilton was about. I honestly, I'll be honest with you guys, just hearing the name Hamilton, I was half suspecting this was like a Shakespeare play, and I was like, okay, we'll see it when I get to it.
Hamlet.
Thinking of Hamlet?
Hamilton.
Oh boy.
Wow, Shakespeare was really figuring this stuff out about how America was going to work out.
Oh, Shakespeare was ahead of his time, yo.
George Washington didn't actually exist. He's just a guy in a Shakespeare play.
Was in the room where it happened.
We got a super chat, by the way, Sarah.
Oh yeah. Anime Guy says the Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat and Fiddler on the Roof movies are great though. And the topic of musicals into movies.
Yep.
Like, it's not to say that there are no good, film adaptations of plays, because there definitely are. There are some very good ones, but I mean, it's on average, it's like if you compare the experience, it's like not even on the same level. And especially like, I hate to like be like, oh, modern day, but like recently it seems very much like, oh well, we can get those Broadway nerds if we make a Cats movie, if we make a Les Miserables movie, and like just throw some celebrities in there, they'll pay to see it.
How does it feel to be second fiddle with Disney remakes?
See, that's another issue that like because so Disney has made multiple stage musicals of their movies. Like there's a Lion King, there's a Beauty and the Beast, there's recently been an Aladdin and a Frozen, all on Broadway, which are all great. I've only personally seen like a handful of them, but apparently all of them are just fantastic. But since they've been doing like the live action remakes, they've kind of slowed down on those a bit. Mm-hmm. And I have no evidence of this at all, but like I am very convinced that they decided to stop making the Broadway plays and start making more live action films because it's more profitable. And part of the reason I'm like thinking that is because they had been working on a live performance of The Hunchback of Notre Dame for like a while, and then they just kind of stopped. And it was like, well, why? Like, why did you guys, like, there was a concept album, like, they had it cast and everything, and they're just like, yeah, this isn't gonna happen. And it's like, why not? And then, like, a year or two later, on one of their lists of the movies, the live action remakes that they're making, Hunchback of Notre Dame popped up, and I was like, you have got to goddamn be kidding me, because I'm gonna be so furious if the reason that you decided not to make this Broadway play that I really wanted to see was because you wanted to make a shitty live action film that's just gonna ruin everything.
I'm just like remembering, like, do you guys remember back in the day when we were like, wow, Mulan's gonna be like a shit show, and then like a pandemic happened and Mulan, like, Disney just kind of pushed that on the rug, like, yeah, damn, whoo, like, I was just like, fuck.
Did that even get a digital release?
Not yet.
No.
I think they're holding out to have it in theaters.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which
Okay.
they're probably like, maybe people will forget some of the other stuff around this movie before we get to that point. Like, I plan on seeing it, but it had a very shitty lead up to when it was supposed to be released. Whew. But yeah, at least I think we plan on seeing it. I don't know.
I think Disney should also film all of their Broadway performances and put them on Disney Plus as well, because that's better than the live action movies. Like, give me the Broadway Lion King. I want it.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast.
See, that's when we saw.
Yeah, we saw that one.
We saw Broadway Lion King.
Well,
Apparently Aladdin's supposed to be like really good, and I still haven't seen it.
I said Broadway, but I was wrong. But we saw the play. Yeah. You know what's funny is I just think back to total tangent, but Sarah, you and I still haven't seen the Frozen show at California Adventures, and at this point, we might never.
Be going.
They're gonna put in a play with Marvel characters instead.
Really?
No.
I'm pretty sure the Frozen thing's gonna be around for a while.
Well.
Oh yeah.
That's a.
I mean, I saw it.
Yeah.
It's no replacement for Aladdin, but it's something different.
Yeah.
It's the one thing that struck me about it is there's a lot of lighting effects and video that is used that, while impressive from a technical level, really takes away from the fact that you're watching a play.
Yeah.
It's just on the screen.
Yeah, they're just like, here's the Frozen theater show, and it just like clips on a projection.
This doesn't feel as authentic as I'd hope.
When y'all go eventually to see it, let me know what you think.
We'll probably go with you, Matt. Bam.
Maybe.
Calling you out. Well, cool. Well, any other things we want to discuss about Hamilton?
Wait, I do want to address.
Yeah.
Nora in the chat is saying that the Newsies Broadway performance is on Disney Plus, which I will at least give credit for. But that's also a weird one because Newsies was a film before it was ever, before they made it into a Broadway show, and they changed some stuff, and I'm like, all right. I feel it, but at the same time, I'm like, this isn't the movie I watched when I was a kid, and it was slightly different, and I don't know why you changed this, which is stupid, but, you know.
Yeah, we know.
Oh, man. Well, Sarah?
Yes?
Shall we dip into some pony life conversation?
Sure.
So I'm gonna put. So I guess there's been like 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's
5.
technically 4 because like they're like I guess paired together. We're gonna just talk about the first 2 sets because the other group of episodes is apparently a part of the story arc that I feel like hasn't finished yet.
Oh.
So.
Well, and full transparency. So before the podcast, Sarah messages me and goes, "What are we gonna do about Pony Life?" Because like I've been watching it in bulk, right? So I watched the first like however many, and then I was like, "Oh crap! I just forgot. Like, oh, we needed to watch these." So I was taking a shower. And Sarah had set up a speaker and was holding the laptop so I can watch the show. And then as I'm drying my hair and walking around getting dressed, Sarah is walking backwards through the apartment holding the laptop. so I can watch. I felt like a king. I was like, yeah. So after the podcast is over, Sarah's gonna do the same thing, and I'm gonna just walk around the apartment. But so we're gonna be talking about Bad Thing number 3 and Hyper Helper. So for anyone that hasn't seen these and doesn't want to get hit with spoilers, we're gonna put up a spoiler screen, and as long as the spoiler screen is up, and all of our, we know that our audio's working, right?
Oops. Wait. Can someone say something? Oh, okay. Yeah. It works. It works.
Someone tapped their keyboard, and it was all we needed. So for anyone that is looking to avoid spoilers, we have the spoiler screen up. As long as this is up, keep us muted if you don't want spoilers. As soon as this goes down, you will be safe to come in and not have to worry about seeing any or hearing any spoilers. So, all right, time to talk about Pony Life. Sarah?
Starting off with Bad Thing number 3. I'll just summarize it real quick. It's an episode in which Rarity is asked by Fancy Pants to go on a walk with him, and she's like, ooh! But then she kind of does like equivalent to breaking a mirror and getting bad luck, and Fancy Pants is like, oh, bad things happen in threes. So she's had 2 bad things happen to her already, so she's waiting for the third one. She's freaking out about it because she doesn't want that third bad thing to happen on their walk.
Superstition.
And yes, so she's freaking out. What does anybody want to say their thoughts on this episode?
And obviously, the third bad thing was her freaking out about everything.
Naturally. Well, I'll go.
Okay.
Oh, nope.
Oh,
Saber
okay.
will go. Saber goes.
Go for it.
I was just going to say that while I was shampooing my hair, so this and the following episode, I said this, or I think I said something along these lines. But what these episodes to me serve as, because they're so short, obviously high energy, but they really feel like the kind of things that they're like episodes where you can kind of just turn off your brain and be like, bam, here's some entertainment to me. And I thought, like, part of it is like discussing the episodes. I'm like, they're so short that I'm like, I'm trying to think like outside of saying, well, I had fun. But like there was, and I'll get into this in a second after some other people speak, but there were some standout moments from this episode that made me swallow some bathwater.
Saber,
in a good way.
Okay. Saber, what did you want to say?
You know, I'm trying to give this show a chance. Trying to make sure I'm not being a bitter fan from G4. But I just don't care for it. I don't. Like, for any of them. As I watch them, I'm like, this just doesn't feel right. The characters from the original show, I don't think the personalities transfer well over to Pony Life. I feel like they don't know what they're doing with Fluttershy, Applejack, or Twilight. Twilight, being the main character from G4, is like the background character for here. I understand it's only been a handful of episodes, but still, it's very fast-paced. It seems like it's a big old, like, we're just here to be silly and act crazy. And it's like, just do no ponies. Like, I don't care for it. I don't think it's particularly clever. I don't think it's witty dialogue. I think it's a lot of just randomness. And I'm not trying to say no fun out loud, because I've heard other folks in the fandom who do enjoy it, and whatever, go enjoy it, it's fine. But for me, it's like, I just don't. I'm a person who came around for Teen Titans Go, where I'm like, you know what, this works. I don't love all of it, but there's some clever writing here and there, and they are at least, these characters take on a life of their own compared to the original Teen Titans. But the OG Teen Titans had a pretty stark contrast to Teen Titans Go, versus here where it's like they're kind of the ponies, especially Pinkie Pie, but then they're not really doing that much. Like, they're either empty or, like, Rarity is more Rarity. It's an extreme, oh my gosh, darling. and then you got Rainbow Dash. Rainbow Dash is probably the most like same from before, actually, along with. I think Pinky and Rainbow, they maintain their personalities because they're kind of already silly to begin with. But for like AJ, Twilight, and Fluttershy, it's like, what's going on? Why is Fluttershy? Fluttershy doesn't even like some of these characters seem like they're just a lame version of their old self, or they are an extreme version of their old self. Like Twilight's a lame example. Pinkie Pie is an extreme example, and so is Rarity. And then you got Fluttershy, where I'm like, you don't even seem like Fluttershy. You seem like a different character completely, with like getting, I'm angry, and it's like, what? That was kind of a little small like gag in G4, but here it's like, I don't know, it just doesn't really feel like Fluttershy to me. So all in all, not really enjoying it. I don't think it's for me.
Oh yeah, Applejack like talks to the audience a lot.
Yeah,
I don't
she's
like
the
that.
fourth wall breaker in this series.
I mean,
What else do you do with Applejack?
in
Yeah.
some ways, she kind of was in the main one too. Not as much as Pinky, but
No, I mean like Applejack like directly talks to the audience,
Yeah.
like looking at
Oh.
the screen and everything.
yeah, okay.
I really hate that they have phones and tablets.
Yep. It's just weird.
Why?
I get it.
I'm just
for
curious.
the
Like
audience.
what is it about that you hate?
Because it's in a universe that's already been built and established, and it does not fit at all. It feels very much like it was like, well, what can we add to this to make it more modern and more trendy? All right, let's give them iPads.
So it,
How about
yeah.
Also, dude. There's also the thing about like Fluttershy gets big,
Mhm.
or Rainbow Dash can like stop time or something. I'm like, can we get a moment to explain this?
Yeah.
Because like I've watched a lot of Pony from G4, all of it, and I'm like, is this just a thing? Did they present these new powers as just the way they are? Like, what are the rules of this world? What are these characters? What can they do? Also, I'm not a fan of the potions. The potions seem like they're kind of a lame plot device, where it's like, we need to do something. Potions. And it's like, oh, okay. I don't know. It's not for me. I don't like it. Like, there's a couple of like one-liners occasionally that'll give me make me go, like, breathe. Like, is it breathe? But that's it.
Like it makes you type LOL, but you're just like
You haven't, your face hasn't changed.
Yeah, wait, where you go like that.
I don't know. It just doesn't seem inspired. Kind of oh dang it, she give me a hug. And I wasn't expecting like perfection following G4, and I know that this seemed like it was kind of hastily put together, just so that they can get some more merch out. But I don't know. It just doesn't really feel inspired, and I'm not. I don't know. Just don't like it. The end.
I think it's so interesting from my perspective, because for me, I haven't seen anything that bothers me with Pony Life, but I know a lot of people who share your sentiment, Saber, where they're like, dude, I was a huge fan of G4, and this is just, and I haven't heard like details yet. Like you obviously I've now heard details from other people. I'm probably going to hear details as far as like what it is that's not working for them. But for me, I'm like, I'm sitting back and I'm like, it's with everything from its styled animation to its the way that, like you said, they are presenting the characters. To me, it is different enough where I'm like, it's not me saying, oh, there's this connection. Like it's almost like I know that there's that character that it's being based on, like with Fluttershy, for example. With some of the bits that they've done with her are kind of off the wall random from what we know of Fluttershy, but for me, that's what I've actually enjoyed about the zaniness that they've done with some of the characters. And I could totally like see where some people are like, no, like do you think, I'm curious, do you think that this would have been better had they just introduced different characters, like completely new characters?
I think so. I would have been more accepting of that, because it would have been a something new.
Okay.
I know that
I mean,
they
you're just
didn't
an animation
want
hipster,
to-
but
Well, they didn't want to because they want to G4 worked. So like listen,
Yeah, and this isn't G5. This is G4.5.
Correct.
Yeah, G5 is still being worked on at the moment.
Oh, really?
Confirmed. I mean, I guess it's kind of a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, because like it's supposed to be starting out with a movie.
But the .5s usually do so good with the generations of MLP.
Party.
But yeah,
I would have been. Go ahead.
No. I was gonna have you continue.
I would have liked it if there was a new cast or just something. This just feels hollow to me, and I get it. It's this weird balancing act where you kind of want something that's familiar and established, and be like Avatar and Teen Titans. Oh, not Teen Titans. Well, Teen Titans, yes. Attack on Titan even did a little chibi like comedy stuff, where it's like, hey, here's our characters, but here's a little bit of a outside world of it of just us goofing off, and they're chibi, and it's a bit it's more light and silly and comedy focused. That's fine, but just for here, it's not clicking. I don't know. I guess just being established with these characters from G4 and knowing their substance, who they are, what they're about, and in that regard, if you understand those characters and know how to like be silly with them, because I mean, let's be real, Pinkie Pie hasn't changed. She's just Pinkie Pie. Rainbow Dash seems pretty consistent with her old self because Rainbow Dash sucked to begin with, so it kind of fits for the show.
Fuck off.
Rarity is just being more drama queeny. I guess my problem being like, what's Twilight doing? What's Applejack? Fluttershy? I don't even know who you are. You're just kind of this.
I mean, they're shoehorned for the sake of the plot.
In a body who's ready to burst out, which kind of like one of those moments where I breathe laughed was when she had like this, oh, Fluttershy, you don't, the power within you or whatever, to like destroy worlds, and Fluttershy's like, oh, I didn't learn anything I didn't already know. I'm like, that was a funny one-liner, but then everything outside of that, I'm just kind of sitting. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just not engaged. I'm not laughing hard. I don't care about these characters. It just feels like a pale imitation. And I mean, the animation's not awful. Or at least they did something different with that. I give them that credit. But there hasn't been a moment. At this point, I'd much rather watch a different show than watch this.
So here's a question I have for you, because like I said, I don't think that your opinion is a rare one with the fandom that came out of Generation 4. Like I said, I personally don't relate to it, but I know that there are a number of people who do. On a fandom side of it, does this hurt the fandom? Or do you think that it's something that people are like, we had Gen 4, I'll just ignore Pony Life?
Oh, no, it's just, I mean, we got a good finale. That's all that mattered to me. At this point, I'm like, for better or worse, I feel like you can't retroactively destroy things unless it was like truly horrendous, which it's not horrendous. It's not a bad show. It's just boring.
Or if you're J.K. Rowling.
Oh, that's yeah.
We're going there, are we?
Retroactively
really
destroy a lot of things.
He really is disappointing, isn't he?
But yeah, no, that's because that is something that I feel is it seems like a lot of people, for them, when it comes to Pony Life, it's something that if it's not clicking, it's just like, well, I'm just not interested to watch, and it doesn't mean it.
I really was. I was waiting for the moment where I start liking it. I've watched every episode that's available on legal websites, and I just don't really care.
Okay, fair enough. Paleo, I haven't heard too much from you in regards to the recent episodes and whatnot, but where do you sit with Pony Life?
Well, I both like it and don't like it. Like I guess I'm more indifferent to the show. Like I'm gonna continue watching it just because, like, oh, it's some pony stuff. I'll watch because I've been watching all the Equestria Girls stuff and everything from ponies. So going forward, I'll just be like, okay, yeah, I'll just watch some of this new stuff. I mean, I even watched like a bunch of the old MLP stuff when I got into G4. Like with My Little Pony Tales and the original show.
The good stuff.
Yeah. And with this one, I'm just like, oh yeah, it's fine. Like I don't think it's laugh out loud funny or anything. There's like Saber said, there are certain moments where I'll have like a little chuckle, but nothing like too big. There are certain aspects of it where I just think are hilarious in sort of like a meta sort of standpoint. I'm very excited to see a certain character that Fluttershy is obsessed with, which is like not part of the episodes that we're talking about today, but it's
Yeah.
once I saw that, I'm like, oh my god, did they make this for me?
Yeah, hopefully that kind of storyline gets wrapped up so we can talk about it on the next podcast.
So like we mentioned, bad thing number 3. By the way, Matt, have you been keeping up with Pony Life, or are you just kind of hearing about it?
Not as much as I'd like to.
Okay. Well, they're short episodes, so it's not that hard. And that to me again is like I think one of the things that is what makes this even less harmful.
Yeah.
Or I shouldn't even say harmful, just less
Of a problem to you?
like why it's I guess easier to swallow.
Yeah.
It's like it comes and it goes. So if it's not working for me, it's already gone by the time I'm like
Yeah.
But we were talking about bad thing number 3, which was the episode in regards to Rarity, and I mentioned that there was a scene that did get me laugh. Well, it made me laugh, and it was the bit where like she turned into like Gollum, I guess, and
Rarity turned into like basically Gollum.
But it was like before the scene where she was doing her dual personality, and she was like talking through this little hole in the wall. And I was just like, what the fuck? And then the other episode we were going to discuss was Hyper Helper, which was Pinkie Pie basically being pulled in every direction.
Yeah.
Including...
Because we haven't seen that before.
Yeah.
I was laughing because I'm like, when they made this episode, I'm sure people were like, oh yeah, Rainbow Dash is sick with the cold. And I'm sure everyone who watched this real time went, oh my god, she's got the COVID. Oh lord.
Like the ponies even wear like face masks in the episode when they're around Rainbow Dash.
No.
Yeah. Like there is a scene in which they just flat out just tell Rainbow Dash to just go home. And she like slowly floats away sadly, and like Twilight's following her with a face mask on, and she's got like disinfectant that she like sprays out of like one of those like you'd see in like a bee smoker, I guess. Like she sprays,
bug sprayer kind of like.
And again, that made me chuckle. I was like, oh man. Any other notes anyone wants to mention about either of those episodes? Sarah, you have anything
I mean,
else?
like I'm the same as you, where I've actually enjoyed Pony Life for the most part. Like I've been enjoying it. Like they are caricatures of themselves, but I don't really see that as a bad
Negative
thing. Yeah, I mean it's more simplified. And
I don't. Yeah, when I see these episodes, I don't think of them as like oh, this is Rainbow Dash G4.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's weird. I don't even know how I make that separation. Because I mean, a lot of people know I'm very traditionalist with like, if there's something I love, I don't want you to like mess with it too much. Like people ask, do you want a 2D show of Zootopia? And I'm like, no, they have to be CGI.
Yeah.
So I want a movie. It's stuff like that. Where for some reason, like I said, I don't know what it is, why this is working for me the way it is. Mm-hmm. Where, I know for others it isn't, and I'm just like, huh. All right, there it is. Well, should we wrap up the Pony Life conversation?
Yeah.
People that were like muted because they didn't want spoilers were like, man, they're really talking these episodes up. So we can pull down the spoiler screen. We're done talking about Pony Life. And we will open up to Q&A here. As usual, folks, if you'd like to submit a question, you could go through our priority route, as we call it, the Super Chat. We'll make sure to answer your question 100% and give it all the love and tenderness. You can also submit a question through Twitter, hashtag SPP questions, as Sarah just put in the chat under my name. So, hashtag SPP questions, or like we said, if you'd like to submit a Super Chat question, the Super Chats will 100% guaranteed be answered. We'll probably go for about, I'd say 10 to 15 minutes, see how it goes with the Q&A, and then we'll call it a podcast.
One more thing before we get off of it and into the questions. A, to give people time to respond, and B,
it's not
because we
spoilery,
transition
right?
off of it.
Mr. I
It's
haven't
not
seen
spoilery.
episodes.
You don't need to put the screen back up or anything, but I do appreciate how well polished their hooves are.
You're
Like,
into
they're
that?
shiny.
They're somewhat shiny. Like,
I was
Their
amused by that
hooves-
design choice.
I mean, like, their hooves are, like, more separated from their, like, fur coat now. Like, there's, like, a line now, and instead of just being straight up, just leg goes into hoof area.
Yeah, leg and hoof are same.
Yeah.
I hear you. So we'll start on Twitter here since we don't have any. I
Whoop,
said it.
We heard a super chat.
And there
Right
it
as you say
is.
it.
Nora Mermaid says, sends us a super chat asking, for my baby girl Laura, who is your fave? Oh, this is a good question. I should have asked this earlier. Who is your fave Hamilton character and moment? Love you and miss you, Laura. Heart, heart, heart.
Oh God, that's not a fair question.
I mean, obviously Peggy, and obviously the end of the duel.
I feel like if it, like, actually, in terms of, like, the character who I, like, really would, like, genuinely like to be around the most is gonna be Eliza.
Cornberry.
But I think
I was thinking it.
as far as performances go, I feel like W. Diggs is Jefferson and Lafayette is, like, he just steals the show.
Oh, Lafayette's great.
I very much enjoyed his, yeah.
I don't know if I have, like, a favorite moment necessarily. My favorite song is "Wait for It," and I think my favorite, I guess, moment in the film version is there's, like, and it's because of, like, the camera movement. There's, like, a particular shot in Jesus, what am I blanking out on? It's the
Wasn't it like Alexander was walking away and Burr?
Yeah, it's like right before intermission, and it's like the I don't understand how you stand to the side bit, and like he's walking away from Burr, and it's like the way the camera moves is like very, very well executed for what they were doing, and I was like, whoa, you guys did this on stage.
It's amazing how all those little pieces can come together to make something so much bigger.
I also,
it's crazy.
Sarah and I were discussing this, how, like, I know that, like, each play sometimes has its own dynamic with the use of the stage, and for Hamilton, they have that, like, spinning wheel that's in the center of the stage. And
So cool.
is it, I think, Sarah, you mentioned that, like, Hamilton got, like, an award or something for stage design or something like that?
I think there was some sort of reward. I don't know.
I don't know, maybe Laura knows.
Do you know?
I don't know.
It was a reward. I don't know. Now Sarah's looking it up. Can I tell them how you just spelled Hamilton?
Yes.
Hallamton.
No. Yeah.
Hamilton. Alexander Hamilton.
Not as bad as my Hamleton from earlier.
Look, just pull out a 10 spot, type that. That's good.
Oh man. Sarah's looking it up. Oh, they got a lot of awards. We'll just say that.
One.
Oh.
Hold on.
Choreography, costume
Or you
design.
want to read the next question?
Sure. This one's from Anime Guy Super Chat saying, "Doing this so my Twitter question gets answered." So we will make sure to. It's funny because at first
We'll get there.
No, well now we know.
Maybe.
Okay.
So,
All right. So I think this is the one that he's
did
talking
someone
about.
just send in a food post? Did I see that right?
Yeah. But it's under SPP questions.
All right. Anime Guy 01's question is, recently I got 1,000 subs from the Digimon video I've mentioned in your how-to YouTube panels. Nice.
It's
And
a
I'm-
good fleet.
And I'm going back to a KH, I'm guessing Kingdom Hearts, fanfic reading I did in 2015, 2016. What's a good and hopefully free video editing / creating software I can use to make the videos for my channel?
I personally use VideoPad. They have a free version. It doesn't provide a lot of effects, but it gets the job done for what I need to do, which in fairness is mainly legal.
Go Paleo. What's the Humble Bundle thing for Vegas?
Yeah, it's not like all the time, but usually around winter they have a Humble Bundle with that has Vegas as part of it for usually like under $20.
That's the way to play it. That's the way. If
Yeah.
you want to do it legally, then do that. Wait for Vegas to go on sale through the Humble Bundle, and you can
Yeah,
get.
I don't know of any like modern like free programs other than what Matt said.
Not to be mean, with all those aren't that great.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say it was great, but it'll get the job done for what you need. If the content is good, the editing makes it better. I've yet to see a video that editing makes the content.
Listen here, Matt.
Yes, free is that's true.
Wow, I don't know what the hell that was that just came out of my mouth. I mean, I started my channel with Windows Movie Maker. It's not something I ever want to go back to, but it is something that you can very low-key editing get away with. But yeah, definitely if you can get your hands on something like Vegas, that would be ideal. Also, I don't know if you're on a PC or a Mac. I feel like a lot of Macs come with like iMovie or something?
Yeah.
That's something that we used to use for low budget TV all the time. By we, Tommy would do a lot of the editing. So we got another super chat here from David3X asking, what is the scariest TV show you ever watched as a kid?
Define kid. Because the scariest one I ever watched, a kid versus adult, is still probably the Doctor Who episode with Weeping Angels, the first one.
Oh my god, yes.
Yes!
I think, yeah, as a kid, Kurt's this cowardly dog scared me quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That didn't scare me, it was just weird.
It could be scary.
Oh, no, it could be very scary. I mean, weird in the sense that I've seen enough shit that's like, oh, that's, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
One thing I vaguely remember seeing on TV as a kid, like I was probably maybe like 6 or 7, was this one anime that was on TV. I'm not sure why it was on like on TV, but it was like late at night, and it was like this woman that was in this next to this river or something, and there's like this worm crawling into her mouth. It was so freaky. It creeped me out. I have no idea what anime it is.
Oh my
If
god.
you hadn't said anime, I would have said Stargate, but okay.
This reminded, I don't know what it was that you said, Paleo, but it reminded me of, I don't even know what the show was called. Somebody might be able to like help me here. Maybe one of you guys recognize it. Maybe Jacksblade will know. I don't know. I remember seeing, it was an animated show. It was kind of in the style of like a Batman type of animation. Or maybe Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or something, but it was whatever it was something that I didn't really watch. I didn't watch like superhero cartoons or anything as a kid. And so for me, there was something that I somehow landed on that I just remember that what happened was this guy had like something in like
a vial?
like a vial of something. And he broke it. Like one of his
This is already starting to sound like Batman, but
one of the bad guy's henchmen was like, I don't know, he must have screwed something up or done something or whatever, and the bad guy's like, basically like, well, here, and breaks the vial, and the guy like aged instantly. Like not like he got old, like he became to like he was like starting to like mummify. And I remember that shit stuck with me all the way to now, and I can't even tell you what show it was from. Like, I don't remember, but I remembered being like, fuck. And apparently it like also got, because like I remember only watching till like the commercial break, what's gonna happen next, and it, like, got to one of the main people too, who was a human from my recollection. So I don't know. I couldn't tell you what it was from, but it was freaky.
And that's the funny point there.
Yeah.
Is it the ones that you've seen all the way through that scare you the most, or the parts where you're so far out of context you don't know what's going on?
For me, out of context stuck with me a lot more.
Yeah.
Even
Because
through...
I caught a few minutes of Flight of the Navigator, and it's like this kid's been abducted by a rogue AI. What the actual shit is going on? And having seen the movie since then, it's like, oh, that's not as bad as I remember it, but okay.
There were certain things, and I'm gonna come back to this actually real quick. Have to hit it. Missy showing up in the house with a super chat again. Thank you as always, Missy, for your generosity. Says, all right, time to head out. Was a wacky podcast today. Have a good night, everyone. Also, book 2 of the MLP manga is amazing. Oh, good to know. Yeah.
The art looks like really cute in those.
There is a manga now.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a book 1.
Yeah, an official one.
Oh. They're like slicing.
Well, good to
each
see you,
other
Missy,
with
first of all.
swords.
And secondly,
Yeah. Well, very cool. Well, we'll have to check that out. I did not. Did you know there was a book?
I think I heard about it, but I didn't know it's already been out.
Yeah, same. So, yeah, but to fall back real quick, Matt, there was a scene in a movie that I also saw that has always stuck with me, where it was it like showed some person walking down a hallway, and it cuts to this, like, they look into a bedroom, and there's this person watching a television, and but you only see the back of their head, and the TV's facing the doorway, and they walk by, and then the camera like pans like past the person who's sitting at the TV, and you see that they don't have a mouth. It was weird.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what that was from.
In some ways, I think you're thinking of the tail end of 2001: A Space Odyssey.
No, I've seen that movie recently. I would have recognized the scene.
Recently, you sat through that bullshit.
Yes,
Cool.
I did. Wait, did they not have
Why?
a mouth? 2001 Space, because it's a movie that is referenced a lot, and I was like, well, I want to be hip to the skip.
I mean, that's why I did it too. And it's like,
How does that
3
remind you of
hours my life I
2001?
regret.
How does that remind you of Space Odyssey? That scene I
At
described.
the end, spoiler alert for anyone that's not seen it. At the very end, after he goes to the warp thing, he ends up in a room. As I recall it, there was a guy watching TV. It was, I'm guessing, future him or something. I don't know, but I don't remember the guy having a mouth or like any discernible facial expression or feature.
Oh no, like there was specifically a mouth that just wasn't there.
Are you thinking about Videodrome Race?
I don't know. Is that
what
from,
happens in it?
Maybe
Is that from what?
video? Because I saw this when I was probably like 8. So
Sorry, so the person who didn't have a mouth, you said, right?
yeah,
Was it you said they were watching TV?
yeah. Like cut back, and I just remember my sisters and I all bolted. We were
So
like,
where
"Fuck
a
this."
mouth would have been, it was just bare skin.
It was
Okay.
just skin.
Skin.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't
it
know-
sounds like it would be something in Videodrome, but I don't remember.
No.
It's been a
Yeah.
while since I've seen that movie.
Oh well, I'll have
I
to.
don't think it's a
I'll have to
Videodrome thing, is it?
Maybe somebody knows. We do. Man, we're doing good with the super chats now. We have DJS Animation 100 asking thoughts on the Them's Fighting Herds game on Steam, formerly known as Fighting is Magic. I didn't know it was out on Steam.
Yeah,
I'm glad it's
Yeah,
out on
you
Steam.
have a-
Hooray.
Yeah, it's
you
been
got a
out.
free download of it.
Oh, that was on Steam?
Yeah.
Sorry, I knew that. Because we talked about it. Like I just didn't. In my head, I'm like, oh, it's on Steam now.
I think Hero, unfortunately, he's not here. He would probably. He's played it a lot, I think. We haven't played it.
I mean, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun
Much.
game. If you haven't checked it out, go for it. Obviously, most of the characters are based off of actually the main 6 of MLP, because that's what they originally were.
No,
And
Not-
lovingly redesigned
In
by
a
the
way,
director.
some of them-
somewhat. Like, they've got their own, different backstories and stuff.
Now, I'm just saying, they were...
Okay.
We all know
Yeah,
the truth.
Well, yeah, but didn't Lauren Faust like jump in to
Mhm.
offer new
Yeah.
characters?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, she designed them.
Yep.
that's awesome.
I love how she like was kind
She
of.
designed them, wrote their like backstories and everything.
But I love how like was that like her version of like a screw you Hasbro?
Possibly.
'Cause
Or
Hasbro.
possibly thank you, community.
I mean, because it all stemmed from them having worked on this game and then
Hasbro was like, nope.
cease and desist. Britt sends us a super chat. Did everyone answer the last question, by the way? Anyone else on them's fighting herds thoughts on the game?
I mean, I'm glad it's on Steam where it can get a broader audience and hopefully more, cooperative play going for it.
10-4 to that. We got another Hamilton question from Brett asking, did any of you cry? I'm going to ask this in parts. Did any of you cry while watching Hamilton?
Yes.
Yes.
What scene got... So I heard 2 yeses. Did you cry, Sarah?
No.
You never cry. What scenes got
Yeah,
you?
okay.
Or scene? What scene got you?
Sadly, the spoiler alert for those that haven't seen Hamilton.
This happened in like the 1700s. You're fine.
Okay.
History spoiler.
Death of the Son.
Mm.
Yeah. And oddly enough, the death of Hamilton himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely when Philip dies, and then during the final song, the Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells Your Story.
Yep.
Mhm.
What is
I
life
often
worth at
get
that point?
got by Dear Theodosia, but that's kind of a personal thing. But
Man. Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, Matt?
And for reference, for anyone that's listening, I don't know theater. I'm not educated in that in the slightest, so I can't appreciate it to the higher level that Laura can. But yeah,
Yeah, Matt's
throwing
not
that out there
educated.
for full disclosure.
He's not educated.
No.
Britt added asking, what are your favorite songs?
10 Dual Commandments and Not Throwing Away My Shot.
I like all of the songs, but if I have to pick one, it's probably Wait For It.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one too.
You'll be back.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there technically a different song for the king? It just feels like we're back.
like a
Title, but-
reprise sort of. Yeah, like it's You'll Be Back, and then
Yeah.
I don't know if the other ones have like their own separate titles, but they're kind of like
They
almost
all have
reprises.
titles, but they're
Okay.
all the same melody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I just enjoy how passive aggressive those
Oh my gosh, yes.
tunes
So, like,
are.
Initially when I was listening to Hamilton, like, almost 5 years ago now, when I was like, I just had the soundtrack, it's fun, and I'm like, oh, I really love this music, and it's so great, and like I can kind of piece together what I think is happening like on stage,
Mhm.
and then you see it on stage, and like, during the election of 1800, like King George just sitting there on the stage, like dancing along with everybody. That's you don't get for like the years beforehand when you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And then Britt said, my favorite song in Act 1 is My Shot, and in Act 2 is Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells Your Story.
Nice.
So,
Good picks.
Nice.
Very.
Anime Guy won, by the way, with another whoops. With
What'd you do?
I don't know what I did. With a addition to what was being discussed earlier from Anime Guy one, saying mostly the fic readings are a piece of art, typically with Sora and Kairi, with my voice reading each chapter in the background. Nice. At first I thought that this was saying the readings are a piece of art.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, I see what.
Yeah, like not necessarily something that you need Sony Vegas to put together.
Yeah, so that's definitely doable if you're working with audio. But again, if you are able to get your hands on, especially those humble bundles that Saber and Paleo were talking about, very good deals for a very useful program, even for simple editing. So we'll probably finish it up here with this super chat from C.284. Looking into the future, how different do you think Halloween will be this year?
I
Not
don't even
very.
know if it'll be a thing. Like,
It's not.
It's totally.
You know what got me though? I'm gonna hit you with this. Christmas is probably gonna be on the chopping block too.
Yeah, well.
What?
Like, if we can't-
well, I mean,
Think
you can
about it.
mail stuff.
Saber, get out.
But the
Oh,
Who
what?
said that
I
it's
mean,
not
this-
about
this
the
text-
stuff.
I think. You know what? I'll be quiet. It's pessimistic. Never mind.
It's probably realistic.
We
Said to
are
say,
going to be fine.
Die.
Die. And that's what we'll leave everyone off with. I mean, Saber, if you do feel like saying whatever you're going to say, it's fine. But yeah, I mean, Halloween. It's weird because there's like a combination of it. Like, since Sarah and I are in an apartment, we never like see trick or treaters.
Yeah.
And last year?
Mhm.
I feel like I was at a convention during Halloween last time. So
Jesus Christ. It's gonna happen. Where
Why
like
was it? Why is it that Hamilton was a more uplifting conversation than Halloween? Like we're talking about the death of several people, the king talking about subjugating an entire continent, and then we move on to Halloween, and everyone's talking about dying.
Well, I mean, Halloween's supposed to be spooky.
yeah.
And spooky it is now.
Saber, were you gonna say something about something?
It's gonna happen. Where like, because America's a lawless country right now of insanity. So like, you have these people who are like, yeah, we don't get trick or treaters anymore, and it's like, well, we probably won't get them this year because of COVID. Just wait, kids run across the street in rebellion, get candy, and it's like, what the fuck? What are they doing out?
This is the oh my god! It's the resurgence of Halloween being a big fucking deal, and everyone, and every.
This year there will be tricks for the treats.
They're wearing their masks. It's okay. Oh.
Oh my god, you're right. Everybody's dressed up in hazmat suits. I mean, I don't know. I feel like nothing's off the table at this point. Like, if aliens show up like tomorrow, I'd be relieved. But I feel like anything can go at this point.
Yeah, it's hard because, like, you know, I feel like a big part of our lives has always been planning ahead, and it's a little bit harder to do right now because you're like, well, I don't know when I'm allowed to plan for certain things now. So I mean, yeah, just weird, but obviously, hopefully, I mean, of course, stating the obvious, hopefully they're able to get something together. I feel like I keep hearing positive things.
I think there's a vaccine that's on phase 3 of testing right now, so that's been positive.
I heard rumors that
Forward motion.
Amazon's going to release a vaccine, and it's like, what?
My healthcare provider, Amazon. Thank you.
Walmart's doing healthcare now, or health insurance.
I mean,
Yeah.
Walmart's doing Amazon now, so yeah.
There you go. But yeah, no, I mean, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be different. But you know, I look at a lot of what's going on right now is it's still temporary. You know, like, you know, there might be some changes society-wise that we might be like, oh no, this is actually better.
Yeah.
Or no, let's not do that. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what all comes. We're in the middle of it now. We'll revel in this years from now and be like, remember when?
5 years later, we're still quarantined.
Remember when I said remember when 5 years ago and we're still in it? Wow. Well, on that cheery note,
Yes.
we want to thank each and every one of you for joining us here on the Semi Perfect Podcast. We will be back in 2 weeks, and we will be back on a Wednesday night. That would be July 29th when we return. Big thank you to all of our super chatters.
Nora Mermaid, Brit, Anime Guy, David 3X, DJS Animation, and Missy and C. Dot.
All right. Thank you all so much for your super chats and your generosity. Rarity would be so proud of you.
Sorry we didn't get to any Twitter questions. We'll see if we can pick those up maybe next time.
Yeah, we'll probably look around. But again, good questions, guys, here tonight. Thanks to all of our podcasters for joining us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks on a Wednesday. Semi-Perfect Podcast. We are out. Have a good night.
Them ponies.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
But not those ponies.